Last week on Spoondrifters, we inspected a sail that we have bought used, started tearing out the floor in our salon to gain access to our 180-gallon diesel tank, and went to the beach and enjoyed ourselves.
We're a family of 6 who sold our house, bought a boat, and now we're getting ready to sail around the world. Welcome to our channel.
Well, the wind is blowing pretty good today, and Todd's bound and determined to cut open this tank. So let's go see what he's doing. What's that?
What's this?
I'm talking to you, yeah!
It's a steamer.
What is it about boats and water? Seems like we're always getting water in the boat.
It doesn't feel very easy, fortunately.
Whoops. He needed some water this morning.
Right. Alright, everybody. This is a diesel tank. About 180-ish gallons worth of diesel. Built-in fiberglass tank. And this is where their batteries are going to go. So we're going to cut the top off and clean it out in order to utilize it. But, as in everything in life, there is a risk-reward ratio. Likely, it won't explode because diesel's harder to ignite and diesel fumes are harder to ignite. But in the likely event that they actually do ignite, it would be catastrophic. This would be the last video you would see of us. We got to do this the safe way, or as safe as possible. Everything has some risk. So there's like 3 ways that are considered pretty decent. One of them is we could drop some dry ice in here, which would, as it dissipates, would create carbon dioxide gas that would force the air out of the tank. And if there's no air, there's no way for the fumes to ignite. However, we are in a boat, and since CO2 is heavier than air, it settles to the bottom. That could kill us too, right? It would take all the air out of here, and then suddenly we're like passed out on the ground, and that would be the last video you would see of us as well. The second way, and probably the preferred way for most people, is to fill this full of water, and that also would push out all of the air. Then we could cut out the holes in the top, then drain the tank. The only problem with that is it's diesel-y, oily water, so I can't just dump it back on the ground. I've got to recycle it. Nobody wants the water. I do have a guy from San Antonio who will come down and pump it out for free, but he won't be here till Friday, and that's 2 days away. A third way is using a steamer to input steam into the tank. The steam also will push the air out. Steam is laden with moisture, so it makes it way more difficult for stuff to ignite. So we're going to try it and see if it'll work. Now our lid on this tank is 3/4 of an inch thick fiberglass. So people have suggested using a fine tool, vibrating cutter, because they don't throw sparks. But cutting 3/4 inch thick fiberglass with this, I think is going to take a long time. So I'm going to use either a skill saw or an angle grinder with a diamond bit, which is both going to throw more dust into the air. They will be faster to cut with, but they also can throw some sparks, which is why we're going with the steaming route. As if we didn't need any more heat in here, we're going to add steam. And we probably can't run the AC at the same time as the steamer, because it'll probably trip the breaker.
So it's filling up with steam.
I think I just blew the circuit breaker.
Well,
shouldn't wipe it out with that. Sweat dripping in my eyeballs.
so you're starting to clean before you cut the baffles out?
I just wanted to get some stuff in here and see if, by loosening it up, we can get rid of some of the odor that's going to linger for a while. So I think it's going to actually do a pretty good job. And yeah, I think I'll do it before I get the baffles out, because that way I can
Stand
use
on
these
these?
to stand on. You know?
See this, starting to break it down. Wow, it's so thick in there.
Yeah.
It stinks really bad in here.
Gotten greasy. Baffle down.
Hey guys, we know there's been a lot of confusion about why there's no comments on our YouTube channel. This is not something we did, and yes, we've explored all of the options for getting turned back on, and they aren't an option for us. So what we've done is, if you go to our page, you'll find that there is a community tab. Click on that community tab and you will also see that each week we're going to post a picture from this week's episode where you can place a comment. That's going to be your fastest and easiest way to leave us a comment. Your other options are to come on over to Facebook, where we've had a great community of people talking about our posts, asking us questions. That is another great place for you to do this. The third place that you can leave us a comment is come over to our Patreon page, become a patron. On our Patreon page, you can actually watch each episode, and then directly underneath of it, leave a comment. So we want to hear what you have to say. These are 3 ways that you can do that. Find what we need?
Yeah, and it's always amazing to me. So these guys right here, they're not the highest quality stainless steel hose clamp you can buy, because the nut is only a 304 stainless instead of a 316. They're considered in the high durability and for marine use, but they are $4.97 a piece at Hose of South Texas, which is a local supplier for oil companies, plumbing companies, all that kind of stuff. This exact unit I can't find any cheaper online in the marine supply shops for less than $10. Some of these are even 20 bucks a piece online that I've seen.
Now they do have a website.
hose-etc.com.
So if you're looking for something, you can call them and they'll ship stuff out.
Right, and you know, I don't know how much shipping is, but I did find the exhaust hose for your diesel motors and generators and stuff was cheaper here by far than West Marine and any other marine place than I could find it. All those stainless steel nuts and bolts that we bought for putting on our stanchions and stuff, they were even cheaper than I could buy the crappy stuff at Home Depot in the little tray where you buy them one at a time. I'd go over there and buy them one at a time over there, and they'll zip them into a bag for me and seal it shut. All they supplied was nuts and bolts. I guess what I'm saying is, before you just go buy it online, check your local areas for the supply shops that supply the big contractors. Most of them will sell you stuff over the counter. You don't have to have an account there, and their stuff often is cheaper because they buy it in bulk to sell it to these contractors. You might find that they're actually cheaper than you think.
All right, what's today?
I guess we could call it see if the batteries will fit day. So I have a bunch of batteries. Actually, I have a bunch of empty boxes. The batteries came in. We're going to go lay them in place, see what kind of modifications we need to do to make it fit. If these were lithium like Life Pose, they'd be smaller batteries and they'd be less weight.
Half weight. Yeah, and we'd be millionaires.
Are you speaking that or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a millionaire.
We are millionaires, so why didn't we buy them in the first place? We weren't thinking, were we?
$24,000 for us to buy LifePo.
To have a 600 amp hour bank, I think it was about 21,000, 22, which is probably about right because Learning the Lines just did a video on their electric yacht motor. Now they have the 10 kilowatt motor, and he has a 300 amp hour lithium battery bank from Battleborn batteries, and we looked it up online and they were like $929 a piece. He's got 12 volt batteries, so he has to have 4 of them in series to make one bank, 48 volts, 100 amp hours. 4 batteries in a row
I don't think anybody
makes
cares.
200 amp hours. Another 4 makes 300, and you just keep adding them in until you get the amp hours. And amp hours gives you the duration that you need of running. But the 4 in a series gives you the voltage you need to run the motor, which is 48 volts. We have 600 amp hours, and that's about right. If we wanted 600 amp hours, we would be $24,000. It's coming along.
It's coming along.
I mean,
there's my spot.
you did that pretty damn good there. I'm way behind over here.
Oh, it's hot, sweaty work. Oh my goodness. My arms, my forearms. I'm going to have massive muscles, oh my goodness, before we are done fitting this boat. He already has massive muscles.
I don't know, they've kind of gone away since I turned 50, but getting there.
Okay, so what are we using on this?
Over 15, industrial strength. It is non-flammable, water-based, used on engines, fuel tanks, holding tanks, grease traps, plastics, wood, fiberglass, and painted surface. Professional use only. Therefore, we are now professionals.
And combining it with hot water from our tea kettle seems to be the ticket. That and a wire brush. We found a wire brush is absolutely the best.
Usually you put this in a gas tank and you mix it 50-50, like a gallon of this and a gallon of water, and slosh it around. We can't really slosh 180 gallons around. So we're using the sprayer just straight, spraying it on water we've sprayed and brushing it and rinsing it. Seems to be working pretty good.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'd love it if you'd come leave us a comment. Don't miss next week's episode where we start doing some serious sanding on this tank, figure out how we're going to support the batteries in the bottom of this tank, and start painting.